Hello everybody, my name is GTeam2 as of always, and of course if you clicked on this video, you can read from the title up there. This is really not one of my normal videos. I don't really do videos like this, if you can't tell. This is something really out of the norm for me, so if I seem kind of awkward and everything, I'm really new to this kind of stuff, having a camera in front of my face, but yeah, I will be talking about remembering Haruo Nakajima, who recently passed away about, I believe, a week ago now, so I'm kind of late to the party, but this is something that will help me get some closure, because it wasn't until a couple nights ago that I actually realized that he passed away and everything, and I took it very hard, because even though I never got to meet him, regrettably, his performances really spoke to me as a kaiju fan and a Godzilla fan and everything. So, just to start off, I'm sure all of us grew up with the old Godzilla movies from the 50s, 60s, and 70s and everything. And those were, at the time, my favorite Godzilla movies, because they were really, I want to say geared towards kids, but a lot of them were very kid-friendly and easy, for the most part, to understand, and very enjoyable for the kids to watch. So as a child myself, I enjoyed watching, like, Godzilla vs. Hedorah, Mothra vs. Godzilla was one of my favorites, even Godzilla, the King of the Monsters with Raymond Burr in it, heck, even Godzilla's Revenge was my first Godzilla movie, and that's what kind of started me with this whole Godzilla craze. But that's a different video for a different time. But all those times, everyone loved Godzilla, because for me, when I was a child, I wasn't exactly the most observant kid. I didn't know they were guys in rubber suits. I thought what I saw on screen was a giant monster fighting other giant monsters and destroying Japan and everything, and it was very believable. And I wouldn't really listen to people saying, "Oh, they're just guys in giant rubber monster suits." And I knew, to me, Godzilla was real, and it was all thanks to the wonderful performance of Haruo Nakajima. He really made the character Godzilla believable. And I know sometimes he can be a little silly with it, but the silliness kind of added to the believability a little bit, because Godzilla's a character. He very much is a character, and he has character in his face, in his movements, in his, I guess, destruction scenes and everything. But for me, Godzilla was so believable because of his performance. And as I grew older, I learned that there were guys in rubber suits. I came to terms with that, and I didn't really appreciate the arts of rubber suits until I watched the little featurette documentary on the Godzilla Raids Again DVD called Art of Suit Acting, and I'm sure you can probably find it on YouTube somewhere if you haven't seen it. It's very, very well. It just describes it describes most of Haruo Nakajima's performances as Godzilla, and it's very sentimental to watch now, since he just passed away. But when I watched that for the first time, I got a sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? Respect for guys who put themselves in the rubber suits and get explosives strapped to them and fight other guys in heavy rubber suits and fall and be in the water. And it's just something, because when I was a kid, I've always wanted to be Godzilla. That was my dream, and even now I would love to be in a Godzilla suit, be in front of the camera. Hell, even any kaiju suit I would love to be in. I'm sure most of you can agree with me there. And just being a giant monster in front of the camera, destroying miniature sets and everything. And all thanks to Nakajima, of course, because he made it look fun. He made it look easy. But in the behind the scenes and everything, it was very difficult. It was very strenuous. But what I loved about him is that he always kept going. He never said one complaint about performing. And I'm sure I've heard of stories like the one in Iran where the explosives burned right through the suit, or in Godzilla vs. Sea Monster, he almost drowned while being underwater, or being raised from underwater when in the Godzilla scene. Or just even putting on the first Godzilla suit was almost impossible, but in the movie he made it look amazing, like an actual monster. And it blows my mind that someone could do that and still have no complaints whatsoever. He enjoyed doing what he did. He enjoyed making people smile. He loved his fans so much. He had a great respect for Godzilla, the community, and the character. He and Godzilla were really one person, and I admired that because he enjoyed his art of what he did. And it is an art. Suit acting is very much an art, with the choreography and all the things that have to go right, and it's almost overwhelming to talk about because there's just so much I want to say, but I don't have the exact thought process to say it. But just remembering him, we will always remember him as Godzilla, but I think some of my other favorite roles he did, which might not be some other favorites, but these were my favorites personally. Number one being Rodan, because as a kid I loved the movie Rodan. It was one of the first movies I actually watched all the way through. I didn't quite get it, of course, but I watched all the way through, and it was one of the movies that actually scared me. Even though Haruo Nakajima's performance wasn't really that much in the movie, there's only probably a couple 5-minute scenes of him actually in the suit while the others were puppets and miniatures and everything. But I will always remember how Rodan would stand in the middle of the city flapping his wings and everything and being shot at the military, and him raising out of the water. That was probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie, him being flown out of the water. It was really crazy to see that. And then of course Gyra from War of the Gargantuas, that had to be one of my favorite kaiju movies of my early teen years, because it was a very interesting movie. It was filled with action and the plot was interesting. And you can see the emotion in Gyra, and that's Haruo Nakajima's, and even he said himself that's his favorite portrayal of, his favorite role to play in a monster movie, because you could see his eyes and you could see the emotion in his eyes, and he did an amazing job doing that. And I loved him as Naranga and Jiras and Keela, from Ultraman. I think I love Keela the most. Keela is just a really interesting monster to me. And yeah, again, another video for another time. I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to ramble. I feel like I'm already rambling enough. But what Haruo Nakajima means to me is that he inspired me to do so much with my films, and inspired me to just keep doing what I love. And of course a lot of people in the Godzilla who worked on Godzilla movies also inspired me, because I love Godzilla and I love kaiju movies and everything. But Haruo Nakajima brought life to the character, and I don't feel like we should be sad. It's okay to be sad, but I don't feel like we should just mourn over his death the entire time. I feel like we can grow from this. His movies will never go out of style. They'll be remembered for generations upon generations, and we just love him for who he was, and I feel like we should keep the legacy going with more rubber suit monsters and everything. So, domo arigato, Nakajima-san. Alright, I'll be posting more videos soonish. I've got school starting a couple days, so I want to get Ultra 7 Episode 2 out and maybe a couple other videos. But I thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble about guys in rubber suits. But yeah, I'm glad I did this video. Alright, until next time, bye!